I remember like once you started, like I flew down to BC and kind of we did a road trip of all your locations and started onboarding them, and we had a blast during that road trip. I think it was like a week long or so, and got to visit. It was a good experience for me too because we were starting out with bigger companies like yours, and so seeing what that process was like. I know you had some challenges, even with, like you said, with certain personalities, certain people that weren't computer friendly or open to the idea. It just seemed like Big Brother watching that type of situation, and you know the way you handled that. Like, do you remember some of what that was like and some of the obstacles maybe we faced and how you handled those?
Yeah, I think that was exactly what you're saying. There's a few people that were definitely looking at it like that. Oh, you're just going to check my time and this and that. And we just tried to convince them and say, look, like this is totally not what we're doing. And, you know, just like any salesman can tell you, this is not what we're doing. I always say to them, well, let's talk about this 2 or 3 months down the road and let's see how that's went. And that's kind of how we looked at it. We said, look, let's see if this works, because it has to work for you. It's not going to work for the people that are on the site. What's the use of getting it? So we got feedback after 2 or 3 months, and they were like, yeah, this is a lot different than what we thought. At first, it was difficult because they were doing everything the old way and then having to switch over. There's always going to be that learning curve. But once we got it going, they were like, oh yeah. And the other thing is when you have like as many sites as we have, there's no way I'd be sitting at my desk all day just looking at the computer, and that was just not my job. My job was just I know when things are getting done with when I get not that many calls or when I don't have that many problems on my plate, and that was definitely going down. And so those things all changed in about 3 months, I would say. Some sites we had different challenges. We had challenges like we don't have that many employees on the site. Now I had guys saying, well, hey, I get a call and then I got to enter this thing into the computer and then I got to go fix it. How does that work? And so we had to come up with things like that where we put some like iPads in certain areas where residents could actually use that iPad in a common area instead of maybe, oh, I can't find the guy to tell him anything. And they would type it in and he would get it. Or even the link that they would, if people had computers in their residences, they could go right onto the link without doing anything else, just type it in and know that he would be getting it. So there was some different challenges for sure. And some lasted more than 3 months. Some took a little bit longer. But I mean, I know today that there was maybe 20 sites then. There's probably over 30 now. And I know that it's still working there and it's working well. And every site that's added now, they're putting maintenance care in there. So it's held the test of time.
Yeah.
And it does so much more. At the beginning, it was just communication. But when you get into budgeting and all that other stuff, well, you know more than me about that kind of stuff. It just helped so much. So.
What I learned was how you can't, especially in those days, because computers were kind of brand new for the maintenance departments, right? Like it wasn't a known thing for maintenance people to use computers back then as much. And the way you handled that wasn't like, you're doing this and this is the way we're doing it. Like it was a conversation, and I think that helped a lot because the people at the homes really felt like you were there for their best interest and not so much just to make them do something because you didn't trust them or whatever it was. So I thought that was good. And that's kind of, it's funny because it is a little bit of the way we approach customers now. We try to create that partnership and not force a software, to them. And so you kind of taught us that that's the most effective way, and that's how we handle it now. So that was great.